Hey guys, so because of my failed attempt at picking a microphone for my last recording that I made for this, um, I now have to re-record audio. So I'm just doing this. So with this one, it's probably going to be a picture-in-picture, which is not going to be nice. I'm sorry. Apologize in advance. So, I did make a different De-Novo because I was on a different computer. That's also probably what you can see as well. Now, what I'm saying is, or what I was going to say at that time was, the settings that you need for that are just turning on your, what's it called, relative scoring, and pick the worst area that you can see, so whatever's red, and just click on it and wiggle. Fairly straightforward and simple. So, now that's all I'm going to do. Right now, I selected all 4 segments because it has a section of 2 in the middle. I find that it's easier to wiggle the whole thing. It gets you more points. Let's see what else. Yeah, and that's pretty much all you need to know. You just pick the worst points and wiggle, and wiggle, and wiggle, and eventually you get to a manageable score, so that you can shake it, wiggle the entire thing, and it shouldn't blast apart. Now, I think at this point, I was going to teach you one of the tricks that I learned about selecting segments. So, I have discovered that if you select multiple segments and wiggle them, especially with cut points, it works extremely well, and it wiggles all of them at the same time without you having to continuously do each individual cut point. So that's nice. What else? Oh no, that's actually what I was gonna show you right now. That's gonna be mildly humorous. I'm just gonna say that now because I was warning people about doing that, like selecting multiple segments by using control and then not misclicking, or else it deselects all of them. And what did I do after I was almost done? I misclicked and I deselected all of them. So I'm going through and I'm clicking and then I was like, oh, misclick. And I was like, oh, dang it. So I had to start over. But it doesn't take that much time. Just be careful of where you click when you're using this method. Otherwise, it will reset it. So, with that in mind, just keep selecting all the cut points, regardless if they are green or red. Selecting all of them will ensure that you get the most amount of points possible during this time. And I think I had one more, and yeah, right there. I look around, just double check that I had all the cut points. I did. And then I started wiggling. So you saw the score just instantly drop from like negative 9999 to about negative 300,000. So it was probably well into the millions, negative millions at that point. And it's still dropping by thousands. You want to keep wiggling until you actually notice your score stopped going down, like by as much. So when your score starts going down by like 50 and 20, that's when you know that you got to stop, because there are other areas or things you can do to get the score down quicker. So just keep letting this run for a while. It'll keep doing work. And more work. Okay. think pretty soon I stop it. I think so. Actually, no. I was actually talking about that third sheet right there, which wasn't actually in the secondary structure. That actually happened because I originally had those two sheets on the right, and I was talking about how when I put that helix over there, I was confused as to how I would connect the structures together without like doing some weird stuff. So I was like, oh, if I just put this right here, you know, that connects easily, and there's actually glycine right there, so it makes a nice glycine hairpin turn, and it worked out really well. So, yay me. Managed to include the three loops in between the helice and the sheet, so that it would be better. All right, and the score stopped dropping by a lot, so I moved on. I actually closed that cut point over there and reopened another one, I believe. No, I didn't. That's what I'm doing now. So certain times, when you notice that things are red, but you wiggling a cut point won't do anything, reopening another cut point on another, like from a different segment to that one, will actually drop the score by quite a bit. So reopening cut points and closing cut points, and reopening new ones and closing new ones, and just keeping on wiggling. Very helpful. At this point I selected all of it so I could give it a little bit more slack and allow it to get closer together. Yep, closer together. And yeah, now I just I keep doing this for a while. The opening and closing cut points. And I tried wiggling that and got a couple thousand points. And it stopped giving me as many points as I wanted it to, so I moved on. Let's see. Definitely a lot harder than I like this to be. This is like my least favorite part of folding, is closing up all the cut points. It's definitely the most tedious and time consuming. So I don't know, it's fun the first time you do it, but second and third and fourth aren't really that fun. Alrighty. So right here, I decided to wiggle this whole thing, and then I realized I wasn't getting much points from it. I'll just try wiggling it first. And then I decided that closing it would actually be better, and then reopening it in the middle, and then wiggling it, and that gave me a fairly decent drop. It probably dropped it by about 10,000 or so, probably more. Zoomed in. Oh, fancy. Alright. So yeah, now I just keep opening cut points on different parts of this. And I keep wiggling. That's your whole goal in this portion of in this stage of the protein, is just keep opening and closing cut points and wiggling. I know that sounds repetitive at this point, but that's the big secret. Oh, Skype. Okay. More wiggling. I wonder if I can speed up for you. Oh, I can. So, let's see. Yeah, I'm still doing the cut point, opening and closing. Let's see. Oh. I know this isn't the most edited video. I'll probably make a better one later. But just so you guys can kind of see what I'm up to. I'm kind of just skipping through this pretty quick, making you not watch like 40 minutes of. Oh, this one's only like 20 minutes long, I guess. Alright. Let's So yeah, after I got to like 35,000, I decided it was time that I would actually shake and wiggle the entire thing. So that's me accidentally using wiggle backbone. I was like, oh, whoops, I didn't need to do that. And so yeah, you just want to shake at 0.05, and you're going to want to wiggle at 0.05. This allows it to not break apart. You can see this. So, just a word of caution, when you do shake and wiggle, if your protein does blast apart, that means you're going to want to keep opening and closing cut points until it doesn't, or maybe using wiggle side chains to kind of keep it in place a little bit better, to get rid of some of the clashing. So, this is me starting to wiggle. I was pretty scared at this point because I was like, oh no, it's totally gonna blast apart. It wasn't, so I was like, oh, this is working, it's working. I felt like Frankenstein for a second. I was like, it's alive. Yeah. What you really got to worry about though is the second iteration, because that's actually the one that does all the shaking and like wobbling of it if it's unsteady. The first iteration kind of just makes it more, I don't know what the word is. I don't know. The first iteration doesn't do the major work though. It's the second iteration that does the heavy lifting. And just watch the iteration and the score. Second iteration hit, and then this is when it starts doing its like funky thing where I was like, no, it's falling apart. And then it got to a decent score, and everything came back together, and I was happy. And that's what it'll do if you do your cut points right. All your secondary structures will remain where you put them. Then you really don't have to do anything else.
Hey, I need you to do some dishes for me.
And yeah, you can open some more cut points at this stage if you want to try to reduce the score. I like to bring it up to 0.2 at this point and wiggle it to stabilize the protein. And then I should bring it up to a reasonable score where you can work with it. Close the cut points, run some DRW on it, rebuild it, and you'll be set. So, thanks for watching, and hope you guys enjoyed it. So, I shall see you later when I re-edit this video.